Hello and welcome to the ActiveCampaign Product Updates webinar. This is a monthly webinar we present every month to showcase and cover and demo all the updates from the previous month. So we're going to talk about and show demos for all sorts of updates today from all these different product areas. You will get emailed a recording of today's session. So if at any point you need to drop out, you got something else you got to do, totally fine with me. You will be emailed a complete recording of today's session once we are done here. Also, if you have any questions about anything we talk about today, I will also include in that email a link to the thread in our forum, our community forum, where I will be answering any questions from today's webinar, as well as just general product questions that I might be able to help you with in terms of things we talked about today or anything else that comes up. So in that email will be a link to that forum. That is where we will be doing the Q&A session for today's webinar. All right, let's dive in and look at some product demos. Okay, let's talk about automations and specifically custom objects in automations. There are automation triggers for custom objects that are available when you are using certain integrations and apps that use custom objects. So for example, maybe you have an instrument rental custom object and you have a custom object trigger for an automation when an instrument rental is created or updated. So you add the instrument rental created trigger. What we now offer is when you segment on this trigger, you can now segment by any field, and you can segment by as many fields as you want at the same time. So you aren't just limited to just one filter here in the segment of the trigger. You can do multiple segments. All right, let's talk about a new segmentation ability that we have in automations specifically for deals. It's called the This Deal custom field segmentation. And the This Deal part is key. So what this means now is if you have an automation that triggers with either enters a pipeline, deal stage changes, or deal status changes, if you have an automation that triggers with any of those three triggers, you can now segment inside the automation based on the triggering deals custom field. So what that means is if you have a deal, let's say it's the Caterpillar deal, and that Caterpillar deal is the deal that triggered the automation, and that Caterpillar deal has a couple custom fields, let's say preferred color and preferred style. You can now segment the automation based on the value of those custom fields for the triggering deal, which is Caterpillar deal. So if the Caterpillar deal's preferred color field is set to red, then with this if-else I set up, they would go down the yes branch. And then of course, if their Caterpillar deal's preferred color value is set to blue, they would go down the no branch. This is really powerful because now you can start to segment based on the actual data in the deal that triggered the automation. So, if I go through the automation with my butterfly deal and then another contact with the Caterpillar deal goes through the automation, they're going to go down different branches depending on the actual custom deal field value set for each of those deals. This is really powerful. I hope you like it. We're really excited to have this out into the wild and to have everyone using this now. Let's talk about SMS for a moment. If you use SMS with ActiveCampaign, you have to submit a 10DLC registration. This basically is something everyone has to do when you're sending application-to-person text messages, as opposed to when you text your friend, it's person-to-person. So when you're a business sending application-to-person messages, you have to have a 10DLC registration. So we've provided a simple dashboard in our application that lets you submit the registration, and you can see the status of that registration and all the information you need to understand what the process is there. And then once you're up and running, you're good to go. You can ensure that that's still the case. So this is something we've created to make it really easy for you to go through this process and hopefully have a very smooth experience. Let's talk about the CRM. There is a new field available now in the CRM on on accounts. The field is called Account Owner. So you can see it right here. You see the little red star next to it. This is a required field now for all accounts. So this means that every account has to have an account owner. So if you're creating a brand new account in the CRM and you don't assign one, the account owner will be the super admin of the account, which is basically the very first user, the admin that has permissions for everything. Otherwise, you can choose any internal user of your CRM as the account owner. So every account has an owner now. This is great because this helps provide better clarity on who owns an account. So as you're managing your sales process and if you have many or several salespeople working in the CRM, this helps clarify ownership and hopefully can help those processes run more smoothly with less confusion about who owns what. So as I mentioned here, it can be any internal user. In this case, I'm the only user on my account. So kind of a bad example, but you get the idea where account owner, a new required field on accounts in the ActiveCampaign CRM, there's always someone chosen to be an account owner, can't be empty. And hopefully this is something that can help you run your sales processes more smoothly. Let's talk about the WooCommerce integration. WooCommerce is a very popular e-commerce platform. Many of you have stores running on WooCommerce. ActiveCampaign has a very deep integration with WooCommerce, and we've done something cool now in the WooCommerce plugin. So to use this integration, you install the ActiveCampaign for WooCommerce plugin in your WooCommerce store. We've now added a section of that plugin called Historical Sync, where you can now trigger a historical sync from inside WooCommerce that will sync all your data from WooCommerce to ActiveCampaign. You can view the status of that sync, how many orders are syncing over, and then you can view the details of the most recent historical sync that was triggered, including when, how long it took, what succeeded, what failed. This is really important because we're giving you more insight into the data sync, which will hopefully resolve any issues that might arise. It also makes it easier for you because if you're just hanging out in your WooCommerce store, working on things in there, you can sync data over for any reason without having to leave your WooCommerce store. So really cool historical sync now available inside the ActiveCampaign for WooCommerce plugin in your WooCommerce store. Another update we have for our WooCommerce integration is the product block in the email designer. If you've used our Shopify integration, you've seen the product block, you now can get it for WooCommerce too. If you've never seen the product block, this thing is amazing. You have a block now in the email designer that you can drag into your email, and it will show products from your WooCommerce store. So you can select what category the products are taken from in your WooCommerce inventory. You can choose how they're sorted. You can choose how many appear in the email. You can choose what elements to show. Like, do you want the image to show the product name, the product price? You can customize all this, and you can show actual product data from your WooCommerce store in your emails. This is huge. It's a great way to get your products out there to customers. We really hope you like this. I think you're going to enjoy it. If you use WooCommerce, definitely check out the product block in the email designer. Let's talk about the Shopify integration. ActiveCampaign has a very robust integration with Shopify, which is a super popular e-commerce platform. Many of you have stores that you're using with ActiveCampaign that are run on Shopify. If you are creating customer tags in Shopify, you are tagging your customers with tags in Shopify and organizing your customers in that way, we now offer the ability to sync those customer tags into ActiveCampaign as tags on your contacts. So this is only available for real-time syncing. So if you do a historical sync, it's not going to happen. But for every order that comes into ActiveCampaign in real time from Shopify, any tags on the Shopify record will come into ActiveCampaign. They will come in with the format Shopify - your store name - the tag. So it's easy to segment by, easy to find and use in automations. But this is huge. People have been asking for this for years. I know I've heard many of you. Our e-commerce team has heard many of you. And so really excited that this is now available for you. If you use customer tags in Shopify, they will now sync over into ActiveCampaign as tags on your contacts. We have a couple different updates to our mobile apps from this past month, both on the iOS and the Android side. On the iOS side, you can now delete tasks from the ActiveCampaign iOS mobile app. So if you're in a task, just hit delete task, and boom, it's gone. That's simple. Pretty cool, huh? Also on iOS, you can now better sort the deals that are shown in the app. So you have more sorting options now. Most recently created deal title, next task due, highest deal value, forecasted close date. A lot more options here for how you sort deals in the ActiveCampaign iOS mobile app. And of course, our Android app, we now offer, when you're viewing a specific campaign in the Android app, you can see exactly how many recipients that campaign was sent to. So this functionality exists in the iOS app. We're bringing it to the Android app, always trying to make sure things are in parity here. So this is pretty cool. Really easy to see all the details about your campaign now on Android, including how many recipients the campaign was sent to. Let's talk about the ActiveCampaign Outlook add-in. So this is an amazing plugin for Outlook. Outlook has a whole ecosystem of what they call add-ins. Sorry, I call them plugins. They're actually called add-ins. And you can enhance the functionality of your Outlook inbox, either on the web or on the desktop app. So ActiveCampaign has an add-in. Once you have it installed in your Outlook, a little blue ActiveCampaign icon will appear on emails. You click that, and you are now shown in the right side panel all the information about that contact from your ActiveCampaign account. What we've updated this month is the account information. This is really cool now. You can see I have this contact in my ActiveCampaign account, and they have an account. So when I hit account, I can now see and edit all the fields, deals, and notes for this account. So if I dive into a field here, and let's say I realize that their address is actually, they've moved to the 4th floor of 1 North Dearborn. So there we go. It is now set to the 4th floor, and that will reflect in your ActiveCampaign account too. Same with deals. I could say, you know what, turns out this deal has moved to currently contacting. Boom, updated. And of course, notes. So I can change any of these notes. This is really cool because this gives you more of the ability to manage, edit, view, and just understand your contacts from inside your Outlook account without having to go to your ActiveCampaign account. So we're bringing more and more of that data into your Outlook so that you can continue to get things done quickly and easily, and of course, more informed. Being able to edit all this account information in the Outlook sidebar includes the new account owner field for the CRM. So if you look on the right here, we have account owner, and I can go ahead and change this to any other internal user of that ActiveCampaign account. We also now offer, with the Outlook add-in, the ability to pin the Outlook add-in so that when you switch between different emails, it always stays open. So each time you navigate into a new email, the Taskpane data will update with the context information that you're looking at. So the pane will always stay there if you pin it. It's important to note that the pinning is only available if you have an Office 365 account. So if you have a free tiered account, you will not be able to pin it, so you won't see that option, only if you have an Office 365 account. Let's talk about Pages. Pages is ActiveCampaign's amazing landing page product. I use this all the time personally to build landing pages to support various projects I'm working on here at ActiveCampaign. It's super easy to get a landing page up and running. They always look great. They are mobilely responsive. I can't speak highly enough of this product. So I'm really excited to see this specific update. We've updated, so there's a block here called follow links. So actually here, I have one in here. I'll get rid of it so I can show you. So the blocks on the right are all different things you can add to your landing page. There's one called follow links. So if I add this, oops, I didn't want to add it there. Edit undo, not edit undo, but this undo button, super helpful feature. So I'm going to throw it up here. So the follow links block gives you any number of social icons with links. So this is really easy and common. You can throw it at the top of your page in the header, throw it at the bottom in the footer, and put all your social profiles for customers and visitors to visit. What we've done to this block is first, we've removed Vine and Google Plus from the options here. Vine and Google Plus are no longer with us. They have been retired as social networks. And so I don't imagine many of you are having profiles there that you wish to promote. So we've removed those. And in the spirit of innovation, we've also added 2 more. We've added TikTok. TikTok is a very current and relevant social network. So we have the icon there, and you can put your TikTok profile here. And we've also added Patreon. Patreon is a very common platform for supporting creative work. People can subscribe and pay monthly to support your work. And we know a lot of customers use Patreon. So we've added a Patreon link or option here with the icon, and you can add the link. So no more Vine, no more Google Plus. Hello to TikTok and Patreon. And that's not all with Pages. We've updated more. So in addition to the follow links block, as I mentioned, there's a bunch of blocks on the side here that let you add different elements to your page. We also have the list block. So if I throw the list block over here, you can add a formatted, nice looking list of things in text. So for example, I'm going to make this my first item in the list. I can go ahead and add a second item in the list. That's not the update though. We've had that. The update is the icon here that is used for the list symbol is a bullet now. It used to be an arrow. I think we're all very familiar with bulleted lists. That's very common. So we thought a bullet would be more appropriate here. That little black dot in front of each list item. So simple update, but hopefully very useful to you and keeps the page looking professional, clean, and easy to read for your visitors. Okay, let's talk about the Microsoft Dynamics 365 integration. This is an integration that ActiveCampaign has with Microsoft Dynamics if you happen to use that software. We've made an update now where you can easily export and download the configuration for your integration along with the already exportable logs so that if any issues arise, you can easily take a look at the logs if you need to give it to the ActiveCampaign support team or your own technical team to see if there are any specific issues that can be solved. You can now export that configuration at the click of a button. You can also now, in the Microsoft Dynamics integration, delink a CRM record from the ActiveCampaign ID. So if for some reason you need to prevent records from syncing, you can now break that link between the record in Microsoft Dynamics and the record in ActiveCampaign. And that way, the record will not sync over. We've heard from some customers that that is something they need to do, and we want to make sure you have the best experience possible. So, hope that is helpful, and hope you enjoy. In addition to all the innovation from this past month, we also continue to improve upon and enhance our existing products and features. So this past month alone, we've had over 11 performance improvements across our product suite. That includes within automations, our Calendly integration, Shopify integration, site tracking, SMS, and more. So we are always innovating. As part of that, we are always improving and enhancing what we already have done. And, part of innovation is iterating. So we come out with version 1 and then we continue to iterate on it and make it better and better. So we hope that you are enjoying all of the innovation and performance improvements that we are delivering every month.